Imagine being a superhuman every day, just executing work with fearless intensity. Nothing can stop you from just flying through everything you do, and you see results compounding from your own efforts, all while feeling as relaxed as you would normally be in bed. For 3 years now, this has been my biggest dream ever since I read books like Getting Things Done multiple times. Now that I'm making a video every day, I think I've come very close to it. I'm not as scatterbrained as I was months or years ago, and it all feels like a flowy and relaxing experience while being faster than ever. So without any further ado, here are 7 unusual tactics I believe can dramatically increase your work speed. And the first one is the most powerful I've ever come across. According to Alex Hormozi, Neil Strauss and Shane Parrish, achieving success is as simple as doing one thing for a very long time. Although it usually refers to prioritization and say no to everything except one, I was thinking one day if the same principle could be applied to productivity. And yes, it can. Whenever we talk about productivity, we are not only concerned with activity itself, we also want to be incredibly focused. We get into this flow state and also feel good in our bodies, not feeling this weight of shame and overall frustration. But if you think about it, we only have one mental state and only one body position, which is the one we have right now. So it would make sense to sort of stick to that, no matter how good or terrible it was, and make it good. Make it focused, make it relaxed, almost like sticking to one thing. It doesn't need to be perfect first, but then we can make it even better and better. And we can use that to become as productive as ever. So one day when I was particularly procrastinating, I tried to lean into what I felt right now. I did not try to feel better or more motivated or less distracted or more relaxed than I already was. Simply enjoyed my current non-ideal body position and mindless compulsive thoughts. I enjoyed all of these. And when I first tried this, I became blown away. I got peace of mind immediately since there was no conflict between how the reality was and how I wanted it to be. There was no mismatch. Then I got this amazing mobility to simply get up and move forward. No force at all, just a gentle light touch, because I was deeply accepting my current mental state, current body position, and also current activity. And I believe you can apply this whenever you are. If you're feeling nervous for a particular presentation or speech, just embrace that. Embrace this jittery feeling and use that to sort of come across more with your message and stories. And if you cannot say something to the camera, you just enjoy the stuckness. If you're stuck watching videos like I usually do, enjoy this rabbit hole that you're in, make it more comfortable, and now you can turn off this video without any extra effort. And even if you cannot sleep, try to do nothing, just feel as you have arrived and do not try to sleep. And I can tell that last time when I did this trick, I fell asleep immediately. One thing that I struggled with my whole life ever since kindergarten was overthinking. Somehow I cannot stop talking and commenting inside myself. But then I started to read again about just-in-time, which is a methodology that has revolutionized manufacturing and systems. And what stood out to me the most was their constant emphasis of being unprepared. Not do anything in advance, as little inventory as possible, and only do something when it's absolutely necessary and not before. So when I once again wondered why I could not stop thinking, I found myself the same pattern. My mind was trying to prepare me for a situation which I found somewhat insecure about, from creating the next script, a meeting with another person, or just overall do something I'd never done before really. And then I did an experiment, being as unprepared as possible, only decide when the time comes and deliberately not thinking about this particular problem beforehand. My overthinking has drastically reduced pretty much to zero since I pretty much fired my mind from this preparation job. I'm confident of putting off into the last minute because I now trust my intuitive decision making. And of course, if you come up with a brilliant idea, brilliant solutions, of course write it down, but I'm no longer trying to force these thoughts anymore. In one popular TED Talk, the famous YouTuber Mark Rober tells about an experiment he conducted with over 50,000 participants. The people were divided into 2 groups and were tasked to program a set of instructions on the computer so the car could escape a maze. Whenever people in the first group made a mistake, the computer said, "That didn't work, please try again." But when someone in the second group made a mistake, the computer said, "You lost 5 points, so you now have this many points," whatever that means. And surprisingly, the first group won in terms of solving the puzzle, with 68% being able to do it compared to 52%, which is quite significant. But the first group also did many more attempts. The error message was more motivating. That didn't stop them from trying again and again and again. And Mark Rober calls this phenomenon the Super Mario effect. You know, when you fail a particular level in Super Mario, but continues to try and try again, sort of addictive in a sense. And if you view our own mistakes and failures the same way, we would do more, learn more, not be afraid of procrastination, and succeed faster because we want to. So I tried that. Whenever something did not go as expected, or whenever I made a mistake, I simply said to myself, "That did not work, please try again." And then by magic, I somewhat tried again and again and again, gaining pleasure from trying to beat that level, beat that challenge, or moving forward with whatever I wanted to do at the time. So now I have this phrase on my calendar, on post-it notes, and even on my home screen, and never be concerned about failure since. So this is probably the harsh truth of productivity, but it's so true once I tried that. Imagine that every minute of your waking day is a pumpkin seed. Of all things, you could either spread those pumpkin seeds equally across multiple things like work, email, TV, news, TikTok, etc. Or you can allocate more and more of it on one thing, getting a bigger and bigger pile that can break the ceiling, or in case, the plate. And I realized this insight thanks to a particular question that Alex Hormozi usually says. If you waved a magic wand and everything disappeared, except for one thing, how easy would it be to grow your success out of it? Think about everything we do for each day. Maybe we're sort of making things too hard for ourselves by trying to hide behind different options in order to feel safe. Maybe it's time to commit instead and finally realize that boredom makes us better. And once I slammed the doors for various opportunities and choices, I felt like I did not miss out. But I could dedicate my attention to this one thing. By limiting my freedom, I ironically felt more freedom. And this is something I go back to all over again, but it's so important. Whenever I'm working, I don't want to think. I don't want to strain my temples imagining multiple scenarios, multiple things I could write that, and just get tired out after like 1, 2, 3 hours. And instead I'm simply observing at my screen, making sure that whatever I'm thinking perfectly mirrors what is said, so I can be lazy in the moment. As by magic, I literally gain perspective by doing this. I can immediately see which sentences I want to keep and which ones to throw away. Playing around on the screen, almost like playing a puzzle and sort of rearrange the pieces. And I can also be interrupted at the time and come back because I can just take a quick glance and say, okay, this is where I was, and now I can sort of play with those pieces again. And once we work like this, we can deploy the next tactic. There's a lot of talk nowadays not getting enough rest and certainly not getting enough sleep, and also that the work is so hard. But ironically, when we do take breaks or vacation or resting or sleeping, it takes forever to unwind. Tensing up over the fact that we are tensing up. I discovered that being relaxed is a choice we could do right now. Like imagine next time I'm resting in the sofa. Now I'll do the same thing, but replace the sofa with the chair and the ceiling with the computer. Other than that, I just continue to relax and look at the screen instead. And then it becomes somewhat of a win-win scenario, because either I could take massive action right now when I feel unstuck and know what to say, or I could just take some deserved leisure time. And ever since I had these two win-win options, work has never been as easy as now. Either I'm relaxing or just working without effort, producing things I like. The last trick is more of a belief shift that I once again learned from Alex Hormozi. In one of his videos about sales, he mentioned that it's not take time to make a decision, just information that you can gather right now. And I believe it can be applied to more than just sales. How often have you put out some activity because you not feel it was the right time or simply too soon? Maybe you wanted another week to ponder it. But when time is no longer something we can hide from, we are now confronted with figuring out what we do not know. or maybe accept our current mental state and move forward anyway. Especially when we become faster at what we do, we need to take these decisions sooner and sooner. Back in July, I used to come up with a video like this every week. Now I do it almost every day. The wheel keeps spinning faster and faster, and I get to adapt to it. Just realize that every second might feel uncomfortable now, until they become comfortable, until I've done them multiple times. And then the next level of discomfort comes, and I repeat the same cycle again and again and again, towards more and more fulfillment. But as I said in the beginning, embracing your current mental state and body position is key, and not wishing for something else. Until then, I believe that you have the tools to work super fast without effort or fear. And if you feel that something is still missing, let me know in the comments so I can help you even more.